All right, welcome everybody to this. I don't know if you want to call it a rant. I don't know if you want to call it a passionate project, but I am here right now to talk about this whole narrative, and I'll preface false narrative that the Dodgers are ruining baseball. I think that is quite literally out of the fan. I could tell if you're a non MLB fan saying that and you don't understand, or what have you, or if you're just not a baseball fan and you're saying that because you see the narratives. But if you are a baseball fan, or if you are a baseball executive in baseball, or specifically baseball content creators or media personalities saying that the Dodgers are ruining baseball, I think you are actively harming the sport, harming its growth, and and also, besides that point, are just flat out wrong. And I want to show a couple of things here. I'm going to share my screen, and you tell me just real quickly, does this look like the Dodgers ruining baseball? Does it look like when overall viewership is the most for a World Series? I think this is what the complete 7 game series averaged 34 million viewers with a significant increase of 19% compared to the previous year. And the previous year was a monster increase compared to 2023, which had all time lows, which we will get into in a couple of minutes here. However, do you think the highest audience since 1992 is ruining baseball? Do you think that 0.3 million viewers is the most being the most watched MLB game in 34 years is ruining baseball? Do you think where's the rest? And the demographic that we need to grow our sport that we are so-called fans of, increasing children like the kids 17 and under by 11%, ruining baseball. I don't This is exact what the Dodgers have done is exactly what baseball has needed. I'm now going to go to this tab here. Let me share something else. Let me go here. Also, look at this low in 2023. Pathetic. But I want to go back to this. I know the Rangers and Diamondbacks are not big markets, and this isn't the probably most fair comparison. 9 million viewers, averaging 9 million viewers for the world's. That is, just for reference, that is 2023. The Dodgers signed Shohei Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow in 2024, and we signed Roki Sasaki, Tanner Scott, etc., Blake Snell in 2025. Just 2 years after all-time lows, we are now reaching, in my lifetime, all-time highs. But yes, we are ruining baseball. Okay, let's go to this real quick, just to really push the point home. Then I want to talk in the interest of fairness. Are what the Dodgers doing fair? But first, let's just look at this. 15 million viewers. 15 million viewers. 9. The most since, oh yeah, the Dodgers again, mind you, in 2017. Also, I'll ignore this Dodger year. COVID year doesn't count. No bias being shown. But where was I? The COVID year got more than 2023. This is where we were at. I cannot stress that enough. How down in the dumps baseball was. It's ridiculous. And people have the audacity to say this is what's ruining the sport. This is where we should be at. Maybe not should, but this is where we were at. Look at these numbers. Look at them. And now we're finally seeing this trend reverse. And this is what's ruining baseball? What do you think ruining baseball is or means? Anyways, that's just my quick spiel. Even if it wasn't fair, let me stop sharing. Even if it wasn't fair, which I believe it fully is, but even if it wasn't, what is happening is not ruining baseball. That's first and foremost. Ratings off the charts. And I think I could even go to an attendance. I think that also, I will say this is not just the Dodgers. I think for as many faults as I have for Rob Manfred, Astros cheating scandal, as many faults as he has, I think he has done great. The pitch clock, and I could talk about everything. The pitch clock alone. What were we doing watching baseball without a pitch clock? Why were we? What? And myself included, I wasn't a big hater of the pitch clock, but I was absolutely a skeptic. Boy, was I wrong there. Brilliant move. But I think his moves like that. One move I don't like still is the ghost runner at second base in the regular season. I'm still not a fan of that one. But for the most part, I have agreed with the rule changes. I'm very excited for the new challenge system to come out. Saw a little bit in spring training last year. You see it in the minors. I think it's great. I only think it's going to get more and more as it gains popularity. Like there's going to be more and more challenges allowed. System's going to change a bit. But sorry, I'm getting a bit off topic. The Dodgers being this juggernaut clearly is not hurting the sport. Is there other things helping it like Rob Manfred? Yes. Is Aaron Judge's meteoric rise in New York with the Yankees and that impacted the 2024 World Series specifically? Does that really help? Yeah. Does having the whole Canadian market in 2025 help? Yeah. I'm not blind to other things that are helping baseball, or specifically these World Series ratings. But to say that the Dodgers are ruining baseball and these are the ratings happening, I'm sorry, that is just silly. And need I remind you, like we're looking at these things of specifically the Japanese market. Newsflash to everyone, Shohei Ohtani was not in the league just since 2024, right? He's been here, I think, since 2018? And spent some odd years with the Angels? I know he had some market there. I know it was quite great. I mean, what was he, a 2-time MVP there? A runner-up a different year, a rookie of the year. He was a stud there. We weren't seeing ratings like this coming out of Japan for Angel games. We weren't. Even on his pitching days, we weren't. And this isn't just World Series, just regular season Dodger games. Meteoric rise. Look at that Japan series the Dodgers just had against the Cubs. Did you guys see the ratings for that? I could go back and needless to say, the Dodgers are more popular than ever. Baseball is more popular than ever in my lifetime, at least that I can remember. Because I'm only 23, so I guess I can really remember since 2010. And I can tell you this much. I haven't heard this much excitement for baseball in my life. I haven't heard this much excitement to say, oh my God, I'm so excited to watch Shohei Ohtani play in the playoffs. I'm so excited to watch Aaron Judge play in the playoffs. It just never has been like this. But we're ruining baseball. I don't get it. But now let's go into the fairness argument. And that was basically making the case of even if it's unfair with the Dodgers spending all this money for the players, you know what? That's a little unfair. We can spend more than any other team. That's making that argument. Even if that is true, for people to be out here desperate for change, ridiculous. But now let's go into why I don't believe it is unfair. Let's go to Fangraphs here. All right, Fangraphs. I almost want to go player by player in this organization. And first, I want to make the point against what I'm making. There are, I think, 3 signings that I will point to that I would say all 30 other teams or the 29 other teams cannot do this. And even half the teams in the league couldn't do this. I don't think half the team, and one of them, and I'll do 3.5 because the other one will be an asterisk on Shohei Ohtani. However, considering the fact that Shohei Ohtani's already made that money back for the owners that we have given him, like how am I supposed to say, oh, no other team could do this when every other team would have made their money back on spending money on this guy? I'm just saying. But I'll put an asterisk on. I don't know if any team at that time could have just spent $700 million on Shohei. But a lot of teams could. The Mets could have. The Yankees could have. Moreno, or Arte Moreno and the Angels, he could have. They chose not to. I think what was the only team? I think the Blue Jays, and the Blue Jays could have gone more than us. They didn't. So Regardless, the three signings I will say are absolutely outrageous. One, the most glaring example is Yamamoto. Being able to spend $325 million on a pitcher who has never thrown a pitch in the MLB. Yes, I know he's arguably the greatest Japanese pitcher of all time, like in the NPB. That is ridiculous. I understand that concern. Another one I will point to is the most recent signing of Kyle Tucker. Being able to spend a guy who is not a top 10 player in the league, not even not top 5, not even top 10, probably not even top 15. $60 million a year for 4 years. I'm sorry, we're playing a different level. However, I will say, if another team went out and signed Shohei, if another team would have gone out and traded for Mookie Betts, if another team would have taken that chance on an aging Freddie, et cetera, then they'd have the success, they'd have the money, and they could have done it. But I'll put that that was a pretty Dodger exclusive and New York exclusive territory. Then the last one I'm going to look at right here is the combined signings of Edwin Diaz and Tanner Scott. Any individual one there, I think almost any team could have done. But the fact that we can miss so horribly on Tanner Scott, 4 years, 68 million, whatever, I think that's what the deal was. I might have the number slightly off. But to be able to miss that badly, then to be like, who cares? Let's just give the same type of deal to Edwin Diaz. Not every team can miss like that and then go out and just get the next best guy. Those are the signings that I can look at and say, okay, we might not be exactly on even footing here. That being said, that's just not even. What I'm saying now, that's just what's not even footing for the rest of the league. I'm not saying the other big market teams, the Mets, the Yankees, even the Angels with Moreno, the Blue Jays. All these teams could have done this. They could have bid higher than us. They chose not to. I will put that out there. But the Pirates, the A's, the White Sox, I don't know, Ryan's we could have paid it. But I know these teams couldn't have done that. And that's why I'm going to say it's a little unfair. Almost every single other one I'm going to mention, I think at least 3/4 of the league could have done super easily. And mind you, these are basically all before all these signings I just talked about. We'll just go in, not alphabetical order, lineup order. We'll start with Mookie Betts. The Red Sox, for better or worse, gave him away. Who did we give up? Jeter Downs? Verdugo? Connor Wong? Maybe there's someone else? And we get Mookie Betts and we have to eat David Price's contract. I know the extension part. What would we sign Mookie for? It was something like $300 million. Even then, at that time, Mookie was 2 years removed from probably the greatest season outside of Bonds that we had ever seen, because this is before Judge was having his great seasons. So outside of Bonds, in my lifetime, and Pujols, oh my God, how good was Albert Pujols? Different topic. That individual year from Betts is probably better than any individual year that Trout had ever had. And Betts followed that up with a great 2019. Not as good as MVP caliber year, but a great 2019. And he was good in the years prior as well, 17 and 16. I mean, I'm trying to remember exactly. Besides Mike Trout, was there any player considered better than Mookie Betts? I don't think so. I don't think Judge was at that level yet. And if you want to make the argument, I think this is when Yelich was at his best. Bellinger was coming off his MVP year. I'm sorry. No one was considered better than Mookie Betts outside of Mike Trout at this time. Any team could have given him that monster deal. When I say any team, 3/4 of the league could have given that monster deal and traded pennies. To get him. And you know who else really could have done that? The Red Sox. The Red Sox could have paid one of their best players of all time in that storied organization, and they chose not to. How was that our fault? But he was just the first domino. We talked about Tucker. We'll move to Freddie. And I could talk about 3/4 of the league, but I will just pick on the Braves. The Braves chose younger Matt Olson over Freddie Freeman. And I'm not even going to say that was a horrible move. Matt Olson is a complete stud. If the Braves wanted Freeman, Freeman would be an Atlanta Brave, plain and simple. It doesn't get more simple than that. And then the deal we gave him, what was it, 5 years, 100 some odd million? That is not a deal outside of almost any other team's ballpark. I know he wanted to come to California because that's where he grew up, like his family was from, I believe. I know there's some emotional ties. However, I am sure there could have been so many other teams paying big money for, mind you, Freddie Freeman. 2020 wins MVP. 2021, yeah, 2021, that's when he won the World Series with the Braves. And then he's a free agent. You're telling us that's our fault for not even paying him top dollar? Like, significantly less than Mookie Betts. But that's our fault for paying him. Will Smith. I don't know even what there's. Will Smith, homegrown guy. You can see we drafted him right here, first round. I'm sorry, the 31 of, I guess 30 other teams, but the 31 picks ahead of us didn't pick him. I don't know what you want to say. I know we signed him to an extension after that. But again, what'd I do? We signed a young catcher, a homegrown catcher to an extension. I don't know what to say. Max Muncy here is the case study, and I'm going to lump him in with no longer a Dodger, Chris Taylor. Max Muncy, need anyone forget, was thrown away by the Oakland Athletics. To be fair, though, I think this is when the A's were like making a ton of wildcard games. Anyways, the Oakland Athletics threw him away. Any other team could have picked him up. What has he become? Oh, I don't know. The all-time home run leader in the postseason in Dodger history. Any team, literally any team could have had this guy. He's with us. And what, we signed him for $10 million this year with the club option? Any team could have done it. Why are we the big bad Wolves unfair guys for doing it? Teoscar Hernandez, he's an interesting case because I know he, in 2024, took less money to be with us. But after winning the Home Run Derby, having a monster 2024 postseason, just a monster 2024 year in general, any team could have paid him top dollar. Any team could have gone over what we paid him. I believe it was a 4-year deal. I forget what the AAV was, but I do not believe it was some insane amount. What is it? Yeah, not even 20 million AAV with a club option. You're telling me, 3 years. Or 4 years of the club option. You're telling me other teams couldn't have got this absolute stud? Mind you, 3-run home run against the Phillies to basically win us game 1. Mind you, the huge homer off of Max Scherzer to start that game 3 momentum, which was, in fact, a marathon. What was it? To get that homer back in game, 2 of the NLCS against the Brewers? You're telling me someone else couldn't have got this absolute stud? Even a down year he had last year compared to 2024? I'm sorry, not buying it. Not buying it. But we're evil for being able to pay someone under $20 million per year with a club option. Whatever. Tommy Edman, we got him, I think, what was in that 3-way deal with the White Sox and Cardinals, I believe, last year. What is he? 2 years ago, 2024. Oh, I don't know. He just goes out and wins NLCS MVP. I mean, I didn't go enough into Muncy, but Muncy and Edman are the 2 case studies I really want to go into, and I'm going to lump Chris Taylor into this as well because he was a huge part of these since 2017, really. Our projects that we did. Don't forget, Tommy Edman was coming off a litany of it. When's the last time he even played a full season? Because he was considered very injury prone with the Cardinals, etc., etc. We got him for very, very, very little. Pretty sure we got Kopech in that trade as well. Got him for very little. Muncy for literally nothing. But our development system, our coaching, our front office saw something in him, and we were able to develop that talent. Any team could have traded for Edman. Any team could have traded for Edman. We were the ones that did, and he goes out and wins NLCS MVP. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Pretty sure he also got a sack fly in Game 7 of the World Series as well. Any team could have done it, and that's a theme. Basically, I'm going to include Shohei here. Any team could have made their money back on Shohei. Any team could have traded for Betts. Any team could have signed Freeman. Any team literally could have drafted Will Smith. Any team could have picked Muncy up off those waivers. Basically, any team could have signed Teo. Any team could have signed Edman. And then Pages was the international draft. I don't know much about that, but he's homegrown as well. That's our starting lineup. That everyone says is so unfair. The Dodgers are ruining baseball. You're telling me your team that you're a fan of couldn't have done this? And I'm not looking at your Pirate fans. I don't know. I get maybe 3/4, 1/4 of the league couldn't do this. 3/4 of the league, 75% of you watching, probably more because there's more fans of big market teams, could have done this. Could have done it. It's on both my screens. Going quickly into the lineup and not lineup, the rotation. Then I'm going to wind this down. Yamamoto, I went into. I think that's the most unfair one that we did. Not many teams can pay. Not many teams can pay that. Blake Snell, what is his contract? Let's just look at this real quick. 5 years, $182 million. Is this a monster deal? Yes. Yes. This is a very clear example of 1/4 of the league could not have done this. And I'm pretty sure as well, if I'm not mistaken, he almost chose the Dodgers, no, because he signed very, very, very early into the offseason last year. That being said, just going back, we'll go to, what's this, the 2024 offseason. So after the 2023 season, Snell, I think, won a Cy Young in 2022, has the 2023 where he's hurt, going into 2024, signed very, very late with the Giants. I think I have that timeline right. Any team could have seen a 2-time Cy Young Award winner and been like, we're giving him a long-term deal. We're going to give him a monster deal. Any team could have done that, but they were scared of the injuries. And even in 2024 with the Giants, he only played half the year. Granted, his half the year with the Giants was probably his best stretch ever. He was injured there too. But we took the chance. We took the chance on the injured guy, and we're reaping the rewards. But it's not like he came out of nowhere. He was already a 2-time Cy Young champ. At least all the big market or even medium market teams could have given him a big deal, probably less for what we paid him in 2025. Tyler Glasnow, we traded for him. It was like the little sign and trade type of deal. What do we give away? Pepio and DeLuca? And what's the deal? I don't even think it's that monster. You're telling me other teams couldn't have paid this guy $27 million a year? You're telling me like at least half the league couldn't have done this? And given away prospects similar to Pepio and DeLuca? I'm sorry, I don't buy it. I don't. Your team could have done this deal, and they didn't. And granted, he's been very injury prone for us. Didn't play in the 2024 postseason, even though he was a stud, our stud ace in the regular season. Then last year was dealing with injuries as well, came back towards the end of the year. And what does he do in the postseason? Oh, I don't know. Wins every single game he pitches in? Your team could have done this. Your team could have done this. They didn't. The Dodgers did, but because the Dodgers do it, we ruin baseball. And whatever. And people make it seem we are the only team that can do this. I'm sorry, I don't buy it. Already talked about Shohei. Emmett Sheehan, not much to say, homegrown, 6-rounder. Our development system is just amazing. And we're going to go into our development system next. And then Roki Sasaki is a case I want to talk about because I'm sure we all remember because he came out of Japan early. He could only sign for X amount of money. Couldn't get the monster deal that Yamamoto did. How much is it? Like $7 million a year we're paying him? Okay, or whatever. Either way, it is not much. You know why he came here? Because we took the chance on Ohtani. We took the chance on the best player that I have ever seen. We took the chance on him. Your team could have. And we built that culture. Yes, I think Yamamoto is also a big deal, inspiring that culture as well, getting extreme interest in Japanese baseball. But your team could have, like, if it's just those two players, I don't think Roki's signing with us. But your team could have made the Betts move. Your team could have made the Freeman move. Your team could have made the Muncy, the Edman, could have the Teo. Your team could have made these moves to make your location more desirable. But you didn't. or I can't say you, it's not the fans' fault. Although if you're saying we're ruining baseball, it's your fault. It's the owner's fault. It's your cheap owner's fault who don't invest as much into their team as they should. And instead they pocket that money. That's whose fault it is. But because the Dodgers actually invest a ton into their team, and mind you, have an amazing front office and an amazing coaching staff, amazing farm, like all the way down the line, that is what makes people like Roki Sasaki want to sign with us. That is what makes people like Teoscar Hernandez want to take discounts in 2024 to come to us. It's incredible. And what we're doing is incredible. And on a nationwide scale, people recognize that because they are watching baseball more than ever in my lifetime. But for some reason, these die-hard baseball fans don't recognize that. I don't get it. And it's good for the players too. Should these players who provide us with this entertainment, who we go out and watch, when we add this salary cap, and then we're going to be paying them less? Is that what they deserve? Or should the owners who own the team, who in their responsibility, should they be paying more? These billionaires. Our bullpen sucked. I'm not talking about our bullpen. Stupid bullpen. Anyways, that's the main points I want to talk about, but there's also just one other I want to show here. Let me share this screen here. If you think it's just money, that is the Dodgers' success, because we're able to pay players. Is this money? Is this because we're And then I'm just going to scroll. Let's look at everything. Best use of the draft. 1, 2, 3, 4, tied for 5th. Top 5. Is this money? And we always draft so late. Best use of the international market. I think this has to do a little bit with money. But this is not the money that anyone's complaining about, especially when you see players like the Brewers, or not players, teams like the Brewers and Guardians in here, two of the cheapest franchises. Number 2, this money. Trades! The least, I think, to do with money. This is the most front office-y thing. Number 2. And not even close to number 3. Also, side note, how good are the Rays at trading? Oh my goodness. I swear to God, I never trade with the Rays. Because they will just fleece you. Every time. Most underrated farm system, the Dodgers aren't there. You know why the Dodgers aren't there? Because we're number damn 1. Number 1 amongst executives. Look, I'm going to wrap my point up here. If you think the Dodgers' success is due to money, you are only a small portion correct. Does the money help the Dodgers? Does having $700 million in the bank to pay Shohei Ohtani and then another $325 to pay Yamamoto, does that help? Of course. It's a huge factor, and I don't want to undermine it. However, I think everyone else is, what's the other word? Overminding it. They're overrating it. They don't understand how good our front office is. They don't understand how good our farm is. They don't understand how good our coaching is, player development, etc., etc. And most of all, the Dodgers care. We care about our players. We care about winning. And we care about being a first-class organization. I don't think I get why non-baseball fans say, Dodgers spend the most money, therefore it's unfair. I get why they'd say that. For the baseball fans who say that, I honestly don't think you think that. At least subconsciously. Maybe subconsciously you do. However, I think where you are more mad and where the most anger is coming from is you're mad your team isn't doing what the Dodgers are doing because you know they can. I don't think you're mad at the Dodgers for doing it. I think you're jealous. But guess what? Even if it is unfair, even if what you heard me just say, you're like, I don't know. We're still not ruining baseball. In fact, it's in a better position than it's ever been. Again, when I say ever, past I guess I'll go 30, 40 years. It's trending up. The Dodgers are probably the main factor, if that, if not top three. I don't see the argument. There might be an argument to be made that what we are doing is unfair with the money. I do think there's an argument there. While I disagree with it, some valid takes. But to correlate that to ruining baseball, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And then this whole salary cap issue is a separate thing I would make. But the one point I want to make on that is baseball hasn't had a salary cap for the past 25 years. I'm pretty sure all the other sports have. Look at baseball from the year 2000 to 2024, not one repeat champion. Not think of the other sports. Basketball, you have the Warriors dynasty. You had the Heat dynasty. They went back to back. Warriors went back to back. Lakers went 3 in a row, I believe, from 01 to 2000 to 2. The Spurs, I don't know if they ever won 1 in a row, but they went basically every other year. These teams were going back to, we had dynasties with salary caps. I mean, think about, the Warriors are unfair. The Warriors are ruining basketball. There was a salary cap there. We look at what football. Need we talk about the Patriots dynasty? Not sure what the salary cap is in football. I assume it's there, but I'm not sure how exactly it works. But we got the Patriots dynasty. Need I say more from that? I mean, and then what? The Chiefs dynasty as well, very recently. I don't know. I don't know. I just want to share my thoughts on that. I think this is just a lot of projection. I think it's a lot of emotion, and I don't think it's a lot of fact. I think there is some facts to be had there. I think there is an argument to be made, but at the end of the day, I think it is very, very loose. Anyways, thanks for watching if you made it this far. Doubt you did. But I will see you in the next one. Peace.